I'm Mackenzie, and this is my second video of me actually talking. Well, no, it's my third technically. My first one was a You Girl video, which I'm probably going to delete, so, or private it, whatever. And then my last video of me talking was an experience video from when I met Shawn Mendes. This video, if you can tell by the title, is 5 Seconds to Summer experience. I had VIP soundcheck in their Pittsburgh/Burgettstown show, whatever you want to say. And I went to their Cleveland show as well, but like that's not really going to be highlighted. So, starting off, like I've seen them, that was my 5th time seeing them. I saw them the first time on Take Me Home Tour in Hershey, PA, and like I have like this old poster hanging on my wall of pictures I took. And then I saw them on Star Stripes Maple Syrup Tour in Detroit, like Royal Oak. Because my mom promised me that I might get, like, she's like, I'll try and get you tickets to a show. Well, like, that was the closest one to Pittsburgh, where I'm from. And then I went to Where We Are Tour, again in Detroit. And I went to the Cleveland Rock Out With Your Socks Out Tour show and the Burgettstown one. So, for the show in Pittsburgh / wherever, Burgettstown, whatever you want to say, I had VIP, and these is what our laminates look like. You've probably seen them on Twitter or something. But the front says Soundcheck Experience, and it has like a little rock-on thing. And then the back just has like Soundcheck Experience written over and over again, and then 5 Seconds to Summer. And on my laminate, on like the lanyard part, I put 2 buttons that you could get at Hot Topic, because I got them a while ago, but like I never used them for anything, so I figured why not put them on my lanyard. And I actually got to ask them a question during the sound check, which was absolutely amazing. So getting into like the actual like shows, seeing them at Hershey was awesome, seeing them in Detroit was awesome, and seeing them on Where We Are Tour, I actually met Michael before the show with 2 of my friends, and it was outside of the Switch Party. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like a radio show, and I kind of accidentally found it. Like we were walking to look for somewhere to eat, and somebody told us that there was a Johnny Rockets, The One Direction. And we're like, okay, sure, we'll go there. And then I saw these girls, and then I looked, and I saw that, like, Ashton had posted in a Keek where they were. And I was like, that's where they are. Like, we're going over there. And we found a spot along the fence, and then Michael came out. They all came out, but, like, Michael came to us, and, like, down our row. And then they were, like, Callum met people that were over in a parking garage, and Ashton and Luke met people that were along the one side. When I saw them in Cleveland, I got the tour poster, and I had like upper deck seats for that, but here's the tour poster. I haven't framed it yet, I'm about to frame it when my frames come, but this is the poster. Sorry if it gets a glare, but so it was marked $20 outside the venue, so I was gonna get it out there, and like it was their official merch, and I was in line, and then they sold the last one when I was in line, and then when I got inside, they were $40, and I was like, really? Okay. But yeah. I also got the Burgettstown one. Here's the Burgettstown one. It has like, I think this guy's supposed to look like Luke, but don't quote me on that. So getting into the Burgettstown show. I got to the venue a half hour after VIP check-in started, which VIP check-in started at 2 or 2:30. And I got there at like 2:30 or 3, I don't remember. But they gave me like an envelope with my name stamped on the front, like on a ticket, and then my 2 tickets were inside because my mom went with me. And like then they gave me my laminates, and we went into the venue, or you could just like hang out, whatever you wanted to do. We went into the venue, and we just had to like stand in another line to get a spot for sound check. And then they led us to sound check, and they counted us off to make sure we got into like the right number of people into the rows. I was like 4 rows back from the end stage, because like that's all they did was like the rows from the end stage. I was like 4 rows back and on the right side. And then they explained like what was gonna happen, and then I think Kat was her name. She came around and she was like, does anybody have questions? But like nobody really heard her, and I was like, oh, I do, and I told her my question. And she's like, ooh, I really like that. You know, I think I'm going to come back to you. And I was like, they came out and they sang Disconnected because it was Ashton's turn to pick, and that's what he picked. And they came out, they all sat on the end stage and just like joked around and stuff. I'm sure you probably saw like the highlights maybe, I don't know. There's like a list of like things that were like highlighted. If you just search ROWYSO Burgettstown soundcheck, you can probably find it on Twitter. And they got to my question finally, and I was freaking out. I stood up, and the last thing my mom says to me is, "Don't forget to tell them your name." And so I get the mic and I go, "Hi," and they all say hi. And Ashton was like staring at me, and then Callum was like looking at me, and I'm just like, oh my god, because Callum's my favorite. And Ashton talked a lot during soundcheck. So did Michael though. Michael's come out of his shell a lot since I first started liking them, and I think that's awesome. But I asked them my question, which was, how does it make you feel that people are willing to travel all around the world just to see you perform? Because I've seen you 5 times, this is my 5th time seeing you, and this is my first time seeing you in Pittsburgh, which is like my hometown. Like, wow, like the girl behind me was like clapping for me. But Ashton's like, well, I think it's a 2-way street because we get to, like, we travel to see you guys. And then Michael thought it was like awesome. They all thought it was kind of awesome. Just kind of talked about that. And then they told a story about some girls that traveled them all through Europe. And they didn't have tickets to like any of the shows. So Ashton gave them tickets to like 5 shows. And then he's like, you know what, they're just going to keep getting free tickets out of us. We're not doing that. So they just like continued to follow them. Like they were like, oh yeah, we'd get out of the service station and they'd be there. And we'd be like, oh hi guys, how are you guys? Good. And they're like, yeah, we're a bit tired, you know. And like, which is insane that like they didn't call the police or anything on them. A couple more people asked questions. Like somebody asked if the New Broken Scene was somewhat like the Black Parade, which is like a My Chemical Romance thing, if you didn't know. And Callum didn't know what the New Broken Scene was, what they were talking about. And like we all laughed until we cried. Like I know Luke specifically was wiping tears from his eyes. And they all played She's Kinda Hot. And then they waved and said, okay, see you guys later, you know. And they left. And then we like filed back out of our seats. And we had to go all the way back to where we started, like the main entrance. And then after like 5 minutes, we were allowed to go down to the bathrooms and the concession stands. That's what most people did. Like most people got something to eat, something to drink, because we had been there since like 2:30, and we weren't allowed to go to our seats until like right before regular doors, which regular doors were at like 5 or 5:30. It was a long time. So while we're sitting around, like a lot of us were talking to each other. I made a couple friends. Then like I had somebody telling me jokes. She was so funny, and everybody just kind of hung out a little bit. And then they finally let us to our seats, so most people went to their seats and sat down and everything. And a lot of people already got their merch because we had like crowd-free merch shopping. I got to my seat and it was a lot closer than I was expecting. It was like maybe 10 rows at most from the end stage, which was awesome. And then the pit for Pittsburgh was actually seated. Normally, it depends for the venue. Sometimes the pit's seated and sometimes it isn't. It depends on what the artist wants normally. Like I know for Fall Out Boy it was all general admission, and then for apparently Nicki Minaj was a couple nights before and she had it seated. So it's whatever the artist wants. But there were probably about 6 rows in the pit, and then there were like 10 rows in my section, and I was the last row in my section. Kind of hung out. I knew some friends, and I went around, met some friends, and then during Hey Violet, I sat for part of their set. Like I watched part of their set, and then the rest of it I didn't really watch because like I'd seen it already once, and it didn't really hit me that they were gonna come back out. Like I didn't even process the fact that I got to ask them 5 toss a question. Like it didn't feel real. They were setting up the stage. I was like getting really, really excited and really anxious, even though I had just seen them 2 nights before. It was different because my seats were so far away then, and like now they were super, super close. And I was like I tried taking selfies with the stage. It didn't work out. And then they finally got ready to come out. Like the countdown started. I got so excited as soon as like the countdown went off. I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is actually happening. And they came out for End Up Here. These were straight in front of Callum. I thought they were going to be more towards straight in front of Luke. Like I was still considered in Luke's section for Permanent Vacation, but they were like right in front of Callum. I expressed my excitement in words. And they came out and I was like jamming. I looked like a complete idiot. I only took a couple pictures on my phone, and my mom normally takes most of my concert pictures. I take some of them, it depends. So she was taking pictures for me, and she didn't even take that many because like I really wanted to enjoy the show. and they did the whole picking somebody to play rejects with them. I'm awful at guitar, I will warn you that right now, but I had a sign, like I have a little sign. It'll come into play later, I promise. But the one side just said, "Can I please play guitar with you guys?" And I held it up, but I didn't like really push it because I figured if they pick me, I'm gonna make an idiot of myself on stage. A girl named, oh, I can't remember her name. I'm sorry. She had blue hair, and everybody like loved that. So she came out and she rocked it. She knew what she was doing actually, which is great. Luke does like the clap, 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 and I already knew that from being at the show in Cleveland. Plus, I like watched it on Vine and stuff. So like, Michael's still teaching the na 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 na, and I'm like over, and I'm the only person in my section with my arms up, and I'm clapping. And Luke looks right at me. So then he walks out to the end, like the end stage, to do like the little clap part, like teach it to everybody. And he's looking right at me, and I'm just like, "I got this, Luke. Don't worry." I just enjoyed the rest of the show. It was so awesome. After, like towards the end of the show, they did their final bow, and the other side of my sign said "Cow pick" with a question mark on it. Like I made it in like a half hour the night before the show because I told myself I was going to do it and I forgot to do it. And so they came out, and they all came out, and Callum had his pick in his hand, and I saw him look at me holding it when they went to do the bow. He bows, stands up, like smirks at me, and then swings back and throws it. I start freaking out. I drop my sign, and I'm scouring the ground for it because I knew I wasn't going to be able to catch it. And I'm like looking for it, and it landed on the ground like in between the seat in front of me. And I'm like freaking out. My mom has no idea what's going on because she was trying to take pictures of the bow. So she's like taking pictures, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, "Oh my god, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? What's going on? What's going on?" And I'm like, fun fact, she didn't actually get any good pictures of the bow. It wouldn't focus. But I finally found it, and I look at it, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this was meant for me." So here it is. I'm going to try and see if you can see it. But it's a little worn on this side because he only used it for the encore, so he didn't use it a bunch. But yeah, he tossed it to me, and I was like freaking out. And then I actually saw a video. He laughed at my reaction afterward. Like he noticed I missed it, and you can see him as he's walking away look at me and go, like, "You didn't catch it. Like, come on." Lost it. I started crying into my mom's shoulder. And she's like, "Well, happy birthday," because my 5 Sauce tickets were actually my birthday present from last year. So like after I cried my eyes out, I found a couple of my friends, and we went to Eaton Park after, which is the same way the Sean story ended. I really like Eaton Park. It's a good after concert place because it's open 24 hours, and you can get whatever you want. You can get breakfast, you can get dinner, you can get a buffet, you can get whatever you want. Like honestly, it's awesome. That's my experience. Honestly, I'm so thankful for everything that has like happened to me 5 Sauce wise, and I'm so glad that like I got to actually ask them a question during sound check, and I got to meet Michael, and that Callum threw me his pick. Like I honestly cannot thank them enough for everything. Like even though Callum follows me on Twitter, and he tweeted me a couple years ago, so I like DM'd him in between shows in sets, and I was like, "Hey, you should if you see my sign in the crowd tonight, you should throw me your pick." And so like rock out tonight or something. And like if he actually saw that, I think I might die. But he ended up throwing me and everything. So I DM'd him after the show, and I was like freaking out. I'm like, "Thank you so much. I love you. I can't tell you thank you enough." Like, you know, and going on and on and on. That's the entire story. And if you have any questions for me, please leave them in the comments, and I'll get back to them. Or I have you can tweet me them, which I'll put my Twitter in the description. And it's on my channel, like you can click like a link to it on my channel. And if you want to, you can subscribe because I'll be posting. I took a video of She's Kinda Hot at that show. So if you want a video of that, it'll be on my channel soon, if not before this video. And thank you for watching. If you sat through this entire thing, I have no idea how long it is, but thank you. And I will see you next time I manage to do one of these. Bye!